Hey guys, Matt Davis here, and in this video I wanted to take you guys on a deep dive into our finalized Summit Vest system. The Summit Vest is our flagship do-all workhorse product. It doesn't matter the species, it doesn't matter the habitat of the application. If there's one vest to do it all, it's the Summit. In this video I wanted to break everything down piece by piece and help you understand the ideologies and the concepts that help us in this design process. We're going to start at the very top of the vest initially, and we're going to speak to the shoulder harness. The shoulder harness is a critical part of any vest design because it is going to change the way that the vest fits and balances on you. I'm referring to the front to back and lateral balance of the vest. When you think about it, a strap vest conceptually is a glorified fanny pack, and being able to offset the weight in the back by allowing it to balance forward is very, very important. Now, when it comes to a shoulder harness, one of the key things that we wanted to stay away from was implementing padding into the shoulder harness. Now, for some of you that might be familiar with backpacks and might be questioning, why would I not want padding in there? That's a great question, but the answer is very simple. Impeding proper gun mount. Anytime you are putting something in your shoulder pocket, a backpack strap, a water bladder hose, anything of that nature, if you're missing the mount, you're gonna miss the bird. So what we've done is we've eliminated any sort of material or structure that could change the way that you mount your gun instinctually in the field. And the way that we're able to do that, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, is making sure that the foundation or the waist belt of this vest is dialed in. Moving on to the foundation of our system, and truly you could call it the X factor of our design, is the waist belt and the lumbar pad. We're going to start on the front of the waist belt here specifically. We've got a really nice, robust, and durable ITW Nexus 2-inch buckle. We're complementing that with mil-spec webbing on the front here, and this adjustment system is very unique. You're able to route the webbing through the buckle on either side, back through a loop log, and you're able to pull and cinch these forward to tighten it down. The advantage to this is you're able to evenly balance the vest. And in this video, you've probably heard me talk about balance and weight distribution time and time again. It's kind of a dead horse that we continue to beat into the ground, but it makes all the difference in the comfort and the experience that you have with that product. So while all these different things kind of compound and contribute towards the same aspect or the same end goal, they're all very important. You'll notice on the shoulder harness that there is a high and low accessory attachment points. These are pieces of 1-inch horizontal webbing that you can loop a handheld through, you can route a water bladder through, but if you don't have anything there, it's not adding any additional structure that could again impact proper gun mount. Here on the lower part, we have an adjustable sternum strap. There's approximately 2 inches of up and down adjustment, which makes it really nice for fine tuning where that sits. Ultimately, you're going to want to make sure that that sternum strap sits as low as possible, again, leaving that shoulder pocket wide open. Another great feature that we've ensured to design into this vest is making sure that you have multiple attachment points. We talked earlier about the shoulder harness and how it really is a platform where you can attach your handheld in a multitude of different ways. When it comes to handhelds, it's a can of worms. Everybody has their way. So whether it's on the shoulder harness or hanging by the waist belt from one of these D-rings, you have a lot of different options to personally tailor that to your liking. The construction of our shoulder harness is made up of 3 different layers. On the very bottom, we have a non-slip PVC grip type material. This is very nice. It's going to hold on to whether it's a jacket, a soft shell, a t-shirt, you name it. And this is really nice because your shoulder harness is not going to be constantly slipping and falling off your shoulders. Now, while we don't want a ton of weight on the shoulder harness, it is important for it to stay in place throughout your hunt, especially when you're hanging handhelds or whistles or clipping on different accessories. And of course, you can obviously adjust the front of the shoulder harness to rotate it back and forth. Now we're going to flip around to the back of the dummy and show you how to adjust the rear yoke of the harness. Moving on to the back of the harness, you'll notice how flat this lays as it comes across your shoulders. That's one of the advantages to not using any type of padding in there. It's going to be able to conform to whatever your body shape may be. So whether you're a guy or a gal, you have broad shoulders, narrow shoulders, the size of your neck, whatever that might be, this really allows us to have a very minimal harness that's going to lay very flat and be very, very comfortable. On the back, you'll notice we have a nice quick grab handle, whether you're pulling it out of your truck or you're hanging it up in the shop. There's a webbing location on either side. That's great. As the water bladder comes up out of the game bag, you're able to feed that through the back of the harness and route it onto the front side so you have your hose readily accessible. At the back of the shoulder harness, this is what we refer to as our yoke. And the purpose of the yoke is to adjust the length or the distance between the shoulder harness and the game bag to appropriately fit your torso. To adjust that, all you need to do is slide this metal bar slider and adjust where the webbing feeds through. One of the key reasons that we use a metal bar slider here versus an easily adjustable ladder lock is because of how well this bites into the material. At the end of the day, your torso length is not going to adjust over time, and I'd rather set it, forget it, throw on my vest, and go hunt. Moving on to the Summit game bag, we'll start out on this rear panel. First, you'll notice that there's bungee routed throughout the back of it. That's great for carrying light jackets, shed antlers, and anything else good you might find in the field, giving you the chance to carry that comfortably versus trying to stuff it inside the game bag. On the bottom of the vest, and found on both sides, you'll notice there is MOLLE webbing. And that's one of the unique features that separates our Summit vest from the Legacy or the Sidekick, is this MOLLE webbing allows your vest to be compatible with any of the additional storage or accessory options that we offer. Here on the back, you're able to attach jacket lashes, a rear pocket, a modular panel, and other future accessories that we'll come out with, while on the sides of the game bag, you're able to use side pockets specifically. One of the questions that we commonly get asked is, what is the carrying capacity of this vest? Now, while it is really set up to be able to carry any limit of wild game birds, I have gone to a game farm before, taken friends and family who just want to see the dogs work, and I've had up to 9 pheasants stuffed in the back of this. So while it is a very streamlined and minimal package, there's a lot of carrying capacity. One of the angles we wanted to show you that's super important is this side profile shot. And as you can see, there's some light structuring that we've designed into the bag, but what this does is reinforce this opening and make it very easy to load birds. Nobody likes being called across the field from their buddy to help them do some sort of CrossFit or acrobatic move to simply put a bird in your vest. This is as easy as reaching back in, dropping the bird, and continuing on your hunt. Along the mesh side of the vest right here, there is a small clip that hangs at the very top, and that is where you're going to clip the top of your water bladder down in. Along the inside of the game bag itself, there is a pouch that runs vertically across your back, and that is to cradle the bottom part of the water bladder. Now, the way this is set up and the way that pouch is able to act, it's going to allow you to either use a vertical or a lumbar style water bladder. You're able to route the hose up through the top of the game bag where it splits, feed it through the shoulder harness, and down over the appropriate shoulder. For those of you that don't use a water bladder, like myself, come late season, it's a great place to just stuff empty shells or have storage for other things that you might need in the field. One of the things we wanted to highlight in this specific angle is the zippered pocket that runs alongside this rear panel. This is the panel where the bungee is located. This pocket is very large. It's big enough to fit your lunch, a first aid kit, any other essentials that you need to carry in the field. And one of the reasons that we moved this pocket that's commonly found on a lot of different vests up here is it's important to keep weight as high and close to your body as possible. The further away from your shoulder harness and the lower away it is from your shoulder harness, that's going to continually put stress on here. If you have any type of backpacking experience, you know how important it is to give that weight and keep it as close to your body as possible. On either side of the game bag, in addition to the single zipper pocket that runs here in this panel, there's a zipper pocket that runs alongside the lengths of these here and is the entire side of that pocket. And really what we wanted to accomplish was any single space on this vest, we wanted to be able to turn it into an organizable and usable feature that you guys can put your gear into. You know where it's at all times, but it's not stuffed all just in the game bag where your birds belong. One of the things we wanted to highlight in this specific angle is the location of the water bottle holders. Now, the water bottle holders are not attached to the game bag, they are attached to the waist belt. Being able to have as much weight on the waist belt is going to ensure that that vest carries very, very comfortably. We wanted to minimize the amount of weight that's throughout the rest of the platform and keep that on the waist belt. But you'll notice that they sit behind the elbow, they're easy to reach, it's easy access, and it's one of the most complemented features that we actually have on our vest because we've reinforced the very top of the water bottle holder. It's an easy, no look, drop the bottle, keep hunting. One last notable feature we want to mention is the breathable mesh that we have that sits flush against your back. This is crucial for maximum ventilation to yourself and to any birds you put in the vest. Transitioning from the game bag, I want to talk about the very foundation of every final rise system, and that's our waist belt and our lumbar pad. Now, because that's difficult to show on a dummy when it's actually on somebody, I have a freestanding vest here and we're going to dive into it. You'll notice along the side of it right here, this is the waist belt itself. You'll notice it has a good amount of width. That's going to provide more surface contact to your body, which helps it hold the weight better. At the center of the waist belt, you'll notice this lumbar pad. Now, this truly is an X factor when it comes to separating the final rise vests from anything else on the market. The role that this pad plays is it helps fill the small void that's found above the small of your back or right above your bum, and allows there to be constant surface contact as the belt wraps around. That's going to make sure that the vest cannot sag under load, which is going to reduce the amount of tension that's added to the shoulder harness. Ultimately, this is going to provide a much more comfortable experience in the field, and what allows us to get away with using a non-padded shoulder harness. One of the most notable features in the final rise vest is the ability to be able to carry an injured dog. Now, this was something that had never been designed into a vest. There had been different accessories and things that people would carry with them in the case of an emergency, but I really wanted to design this vest to be able to not only carry your birds, but a dog if something was to happen. All you simply need to do is open this rear top panel by routing this webbing back through the harness. You're able to wrap the dog up in that and safely and securely transport it out of the field. Another thing that's going to be a little bit hard to show on the dummy are the shell pouches of the Summit vest. Now, we call this our 3-stage shell pocket. The 3 stages are fully closed, zipper open with the lid over, or tucking the lid down inside the pouch. If you lift up this tab here, you'll notice there's a full zipper that goes across the length of it. There is a right and left pocket as we want those zippers to close to the back. If they were to be open the other way, they could push through the brush and it could pull your gear open, where you may potentially lose keys, wallets, cameras, shells, etc. With the shell pouch all the way open, you're able to simply tuck it down inside for unobstructed access into the shell pouch. So for us out here in Utah, where we're chukar hunting and we're not pushing through a lot of brush, this is primarily how we'll hunt with this. If I was hunting in the grouse woods, pushing pines or thick briars and cover, and I didn't want debris falling into my shells, I would simply drop the lid over the top into the Velcro attachment. On the outside of the shell pouch, you'll notice there's an additional external zipper. This is perfect for storing wallets, keys, dropping your handheld in. Really, the possibilities are endless, but it's leaving those things to be stored in addition to and not mixed in with the shells or other things that you have in the main pouch. And lastly, we have some molly webbing on the outside here. If you shoot a 12 or a 16 gauge, these serve as a great little bandolier or shell loops. We are working on an additional accessory that will attach there as well, or it's a place you can attach a handheld or a phone case to. In summary, the Summit vest truly is our do-all upland strap vest. From the grouse woods of Minnesota to the chukar slopes in Nevada, this is the one vest that can do it all. Thank you for taking time to watch this. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to help. Thanks again.